Hey, and welcome to Middle Ground Books After Hours.
My name is Megan.
I'm Debra.
And I'm Lance. And Happy New Year.
Yay!
Should all acquaintance be for
Blah, blah,
and never
blah,
blah, blah, blah. Oh, you guys, come on. I actually know the words.
Okay, go for it. It's
Never
a solo.
mind, it's
no.
done now. It's done
No,
now.
I really don't know the words.
I have no idea.
Beyond
You're serious?
and
You don't
never
know the
come
words like
to
they sing it every
mind.
year. Should all acquaintance be forgot and never come to mind? Should all acquaintance be forgot and days of auld lang syne?
And then it's in days of
For
old.
auld
Okay, all right.
lang syne. What does that even mean?
You just beeped.
I know.
We just beeped it.
I'm sorry. He can beep it. What does it mean?
I think it means
It's a Scots phrase meaning old long since or for old time's sake.
Oh, so it's about remembering the
old
past
people.
and like what you've done in the past year, I guess.
Yeah, that's not really that long ago, really. I mean, it might seem a long time ago if you're like 4, because that's like a quarter of your life. But at this point, yeah, it's like
The years
not.
just fly by, don't they?
They do.
Like, we were trying to look at our favorite books for this past year, and I'm like, oh no, I read that a year and a half ago. That wasn't this year at all.
So anyway, like we're going to try to get into it. So for today, we talked about this last week in our DCC episode, and hopefully you didn't hate it. But we talked about the fact we are going to do an hopefully abbreviated talk about our pick for the year. My book is actually from the 21st century. Like it's actually
Woohoo.
like within the last 20 years,
Good
this
job.
book has been written.
High five.
All right. So there are a couple of caveats. Number one, it's a book that we have not yet talked about on the podcast. Number two, it's either a book we really enjoyed or it changed the way we think about life, the universe, and everything. And so mine's probably going to be in the number 2 category.
That it's not that you really enjoyed it, it just changed how you thought about
Oh,
things.
yeah, you'll see.
Okay. Well, tell us about it.
And then the last, it could have been either an ebook, a physical book, or an audiobook, but we have to say which, and if the format had anything to do with liking it or not like. And I think Megan should start out.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was good.
Okay.
She liked it. It was a lot of fun.
Haha. Okay. It was really hard to narrow down my list. I read/listened to. I mostly listened to these, I will say. Besides Dungeon Crawler Carl, which we love here, as if you've listened to our podcast, you know this. I think my favorite one this year was called The Everlasting by Alex E. Haro. And Debbie and I both read this, listened to it, and talked a little bit about it on one of the podcasts. I like that. That is like everything I love in a book. Like, it's got like a bit of a time travel. It's fantasy. It's got a little bit of a love story.
It's a pretty juicy romance.
Not
honest.
really.
Yes, it is.
No, because it's more about him going back and trying to.
Because he loved her.
So it was like an Andy Griffith style romance.
And she
Because
like,
he loved her, but he didn't, like, they didn't even live in the same time period. He just loved her story. And, like...
Because...
Anyway.
And she continued to live because she loved him. Like, otherwise she would have just given up.
But it was so good. I mean, it is an important part of the story, but it's not, I would
the
say
whole
this is...
crux of the matter.
Like, when people say romance, I think of, like, more of the contemporary cutesy romance. This is not that.
No, it's an actual love story.
Romance, love story.
It's a meaty love story.
It has
Okay,
magic,
but when you
it
say
has
meaty love
timey-wiminess.
story, you mean that it's a substantial love story, not
Yeah.
Like,
like
it matters.
it's bounce, you go wham,
Oh, it's
wham.
both.
Well,
Okay.
it has a little of that, yeah, but it's not, like, that's not the reason you read this book. Like, if you're reading it for the spice, you're not going to enjoy it.
No.
Like, some people, like, really like spicy romances. That's not this.
No,
Like,
but you could have skipped those portions and the love would have still been there. But
Oh, yeah.
it did add to the story because, like I said, it is an actual meaty love story.
it is a romance.
So if
like,
you are a mature adult who has experienced true love, you will love this. If you are a mature
What if you're
adult,
like a jaded, angry adult?
then you'll read and go, yeah, that would never
Whatever.
happen.
No,
Yeah.
it was beautiful. I loved it. Ugh, it was so good.
Agreed.
And then after that, so you'll notice a pattern here. A lot of fantasy.
What part of one?
What?
What part of one?
Oh, he just wanted you to tell about one?
Yeah, is that your favorite of all the year?
If I have to pick one, I guess.
Yes, that was kind
No,
of that.
I have so many good ones that I read this year. I can't just pick one singular
I didn't
book.
know we had to choose one. I
That's
thought we got to do
crazy.
3. Okay, let's go on. You do one.
No. Okay.
You do one.
Okay, well,
We'll see how
I
much
only
time we
chose
use.
like the one.
Okay, we're
And
listening.
it is not because I enjoyed it. Well, that's only half true. So we actually went on vacation. That was months ago. Like it was
August, the first week of August.
when it was blazing hot in Kansas, and we went to Washington State
It
and
was
flew into
lovely.
Seattle. And the great thing about Seattle is like you throw a rock and you can hit a bookstore and go to that bookstore and throw a rock again and hit a different bookstore. And we did that about 11 times and hit 3 pedestrians by accident. And then we were in this little cabin outside of Olympia, and we bought a bunch of books. Like we've got our own bookstore, but we went and we supported the local economy in
It was
Seattle
a
and in
really
Olympia.
fun treasure hunt.
And
Yeah.
I one of the books I got, it was a book called Salt, Sugar, Fat by Michael Moss. Or you could say Salt, Sugar, Fat, or Sugar, Salt, Fat, or Fat, Sugar, Salt. I can never remember the order. But this book was published actually in 2013, so it is a decade old, plus a couple years. So I read this as a physical book, and reading a physical book is great. Like in terms of it slows you down. It's the only thing you're doing. You're not multitasking.
Yeah.
You're not doing any of the other things. And it's like taking a nap, but not being asleep. Although sometimes it can transition fairly quickly from
Yeah.
one to the other. And so the whole book, Michael Moss did this book, and it's just like this feat of really careful journalism. Like if you remember the movie or the documentary Super Size Me a few years ago,
Yes.
that was a little sensationalistic, and there wasn't a lot of hard science behind it in some places. So you could say that it was biased. But
And it focused particularly on the McDonald's chain.
yeah, but this book is not that. So it concentrates on the fact salt is used as a preservative to
Yes.
extend the shelf life, is something that we need more and more of for us to have something taste salty. And so if you cut out the salt from your diet and then go back to your previous level of salt after, like a month or something, it will like make it feel like, that you're dying because it's so salty. Salt is used to cover up bad flavors that come from processed food. Like he actually talks about how ham can have kind of a wet dog flavor
Ew.
when it's been cooked and then cooled and then canned. And so he talks about how salt's used to cover that up. Like it is scientifically formulated so that it is exactly what our physiology wants.
Like the mass-produced food is.
Yes. And then sugar is also used as a preservative, increasing that shelf life again. Scientifically calibrated peak. Salt is something that he actually talks about how children don't automatically like salty things. Salt is something that we are enculturated. Salt is something that we're taught to love. Kids love sugar just right off the bat. They love it automatically.
Well, because even breast milk is slightly sweet. So
Yes. And he talks about how we have this, there is, again, kind of this butter zone, this place where the sweetness is exactly right for us. And they calibrate what is going to hit absolutely right for
Oreo cookies.
I mean, among other things. You talk about Oreos, crackers, it's used to bring crispness. And if you pull that sugar out of baked goods, you're going to lose that crispness. It's not going to brown as well. And so the entire commercial food industry relies on this sugar by the tons to crisp, to preserve, to provide the right amount of sweetness. And then fat is used as a
Flavor enhancer.
preservative.
How would fat preserve?
In the old days, they used to be able to package an entire pig in lard,
Right. I was
and
just going to
store it
say
in the
that.
basement.
Those giant crocks, your great aunt told us that, that was because you would butcher an entire pig and put it in that giant crock, and then it would make a seal of
Lard, and then you just
fat
cut out
on the
what
top.
you would want, and it would stay good.
Ew.
Like the entire
in your cellar.
Yeah,
I'm sure it did, but the concept sounds gross.
and fat is used to improve mouthfeel.
Oh, go down and grab some of the pig from the cellar, Bessie.
Oh my goodness.
The other thing about fat is that different from salt and sugar, we have no sensor to say, oh, that's too much fat. So you can jam and jam fat into that, and we'll say, that's pretty good.
That's good.
Okay, except for cheesecake. Like, I don't know if it's the sugar or the fat, but I can eat about one bite of cheesecake and my mouth is like,
It's too rich.
that's enough.
So now what about this book? The crux of this thing is, first, there are only a few mega corporations that control all of the food for the U.S., and the government, regulators, FDA, et cetera, are pretty much in bed with the corporate stakeholders insofar as
of course.
they tell, like, the FDA, if you regulate us out of the sugar, then, it's going to make the industry come to a halt, et cetera, et cetera. There's actually this kind of dialogue between the industry and the FDA to say, oh, you can't do that to us because, we wouldn't be able to make money, and, that would cause the world
So
to
they're
come
like bargaining
crashing down.
with one another between profitability and the health of the population of our country, is what you're telling me.
Yeah,
No one cares about the health of our country.
Well, the FDA is trying to, but the companies tell them, but we won't be able to make it.
See, and that's the thing is that Michael Moss actually tells some stories like about one
I
Coke
remember
exec
that. I remember.
that he saw the kind in this. I don't remember. I think it was in South America. Maybe it was Brazil in the favelas, where he saw the abject poverty, and the corporate execs were saying, "Okay, you got to figure out how to market this to these people who are living in abject poverty." And he said, basically, no.
Yeah. Well, and isn't he also the one who started bottling Dasani and saying, let's get wholesome water to people who don't have decent water?
So yeah, Dasani was actually, I'm pretty sure it was that guy's brainchild. He got fired. Like, he got so fired.
But Dasani is still my favorite bottled water. If I am on a trip and I have stupidly not brought along my own water bottle, Dasani is my go-to. It tastes better. Just saying.
So anyway, the whole book is basically about how and this is the other thing, is who's one of the big players in processed food right now?
I have no idea.
I have no idea what you're talking
We
about.
actually got 2 little cookbooks in the store not very long ago. Kind of this funny, it looks like a millennial type cookbook, and it shows, these women who are enjoying foods, and there's no publisher listed anywhere until you look on the very back page. 2 little cookbooks, both of them published by Philip Morris, the tobacco
company.
The tobacco giant, because Philip Morris owns
You're
massive...
talking vintage stuff. Oh,
No, this isn't
No, he
vintage.
is
This
not.
is 2007, I think, was the publishing date.
well, but not new. We didn't order that. It's not a
this
new
is
book.
it's a used book.
All right.
But
I was
Philip
like,
Morris owns like more than a third, I think. I think it's General Mills that they bought. Don't quote me on that. Read the book. Fat, sugar, salt, sugar, fat. Salt, sugar, fat. That's the one. So do check that out.
And the author is?
But Philip Morris actually owns that, and they are giving legal guidance to the mega processed food corporation saying, you're going to end up in legal trouble because they can kind of prove that you're responsible for type 2 diabetes, you're responsible for the obesity epidemic, you're responsible for all these health problems.
So here's how you deal with that with our experience from tobacco.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Like that, there is really a dialogue, and he talks about that in the book.
I just like to read a book that I can escape into and not think about that stuff, because it's terrible.
This is a book that I would have to say I enjoyed sitting and reading, but it kind of made me hate life. And the thing is, I like my backwards hat research that I did today. I looked it up. Salt, sugar, fat, 10-year anniversary. Anything change?
And?
Of course not. Not a damn thing.
Could you please tell us again the author's name?
Michael Moss is his name. If you want to read that book and want to hate life more,
want to be bummed out.
Carrie Gillum, one of our, she is almost a hometown girl made good. She's from Topeka, but she wrote Whitewash, that is a chronicle of Monsanto, summa cum now Bayer now owns. Isn't it Bayer?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Owns what used to be Monsanto. And so you can read about the hijinks and the fun involved in that
you read
whole
a lot
thing.
of really uplifting and exciting.
Also, the Monsanto
feel-good
Papers,
stuff.
which is equally depressing.
It is important to be aware.
But
And
there's nothing you can do about it. That's the thing that's
You can
frustrating.
make your own choices for
And-
yourself and your body.
Well, or you can read Poison the Well, How Forever Chemicals Have Contaminated the United States by Sharon Udison and Rachel Franzen. And yep, that you're pretty much set up for a miserable and jaded year.
Okay, can you talk about something maybe not as depressing, Debbie?
Well, I didn't know I was supposed to pick one.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I came with 3.
But you mentioned several.
Okay, so here's the deal, y'all. I read 8 different time travel books, 7 different books with river in the title, as well as a plethora of fantasy and sci-fi novels and a plethora of murder/art thief mysteries. And the 3 things that I chose as my favorites fit none of those categories, which just goes to show that trying something that's not your normal pays off. So here were my 3. Which one do you want me to talk about, sir?
The bottom one.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so like the one that you just talked about, this is a used book that I picked up for $2 when we were on our trip in Washington visiting all the Seattle bookshops. And the title of the book is The Call. Now, if you Google The Call, you're not going to find the book I'm talking about. You're going to find a creepy movie and a creepy book. I don't do creepy. This one, The Call, was published in 2011, and the author is Yannick Murphy. And when it was released in 2011, Publishers Weekly said that it was a triumph of quiet humor and understated beauty. So what it is The Call is how each entry starts. It's not like a normal, typical narrative. It doesn't have dialogue per se. It doesn't have the typical story development. It is a journal of a veterinarian. And so each section of the story starts with The Call, and he tells got a call at this time from the neighbor about a sick sheep. And then he gives an account of what happened when he went to the neighbor's house about the sick sheep. So it's called The Call because each section of the journal starts with The Call. And there were a lot of laugh out loud funny things. It wasn't quiet humor to me. I was laughing out loud.
Yeah, you were reading bits to me and
constantly.
Laughing, yeah.
Megan's like, what? And I'd be like, listen to this. And I would read it. And, because if you've ever lived in rural areas and just the crazy things that people do and say, like the woman who literally had her pet sheep in her house, or I can't even think of all the different odd things, but it also has a very upsetting, horrible thing that happens. And so it is a triumph because the family passes through difficult things and come out the other side. And yeah, it's about a small community and how the people...
Is this a fiction or nonfiction?
Oh, it's a fiction, but Yannick Murphy's husband actually is a veterinarian. So it is I would say very true to life that she's writing from the experience of being a veterinarian's wife. So,
okay.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable.
So there were probably some people in there that was like, hey, that's me, isn't it?
I mean, maybe it's possible. Probably. But,
Well, usually people have that caveat that any similarities
to persons, yeah.
Are entirely deliberate.
No.
Okay, but also, may I talk about a second one since I don't think we've made our 30 minutes yet? So, related to what you were talking about with the fat, no, it was salt, sugar, fat.
Yep.
I, this year, read 2 books. One is called Fast Like a Girl, and the other one, The Menopause Reset, and they're both by Mindy Pelz. And she talks about that especially in the Menopause Reset, if you are a woman who is either around 50 years old and naturally entering menopause, or if you are a younger person who has had a hysterectomy and find that your body is suddenly completely different from how it has been your entire life, she talks about how to naturally, through stopping eating processed sugar and eating in a healthier, not only healthier food, but in a healthier pattern, how that can change your life. And I have been following her menopause reset instructions now for 30 days. And I can already see and feel a difference in how I feel and how I look. And she claims that if you do these things, it will also help with your sleep. Unfortunately, I'm sorry if you are ladies out there who are struggling with waking up at night and not being able to fall back asleep. That is still happening. But I would say that it's far better than it was before. So check it out. Mindy Pelz, Fast Like a Girl. And that one talks about even if you are not menopausal, if you are still having a cycle, how to eat and how to fast in a cyclic manner to help your body and to relieve some of like the PMS type symptoms like cramps and bloating and all of those things. She talks about how to do that as well. It's a lot more complicated if you're still having your cycle, but she does explain how to do all of that too. So I highly recommend if you are just, especially as it's a new year, if your body is not feeling like a good home, that maybe this could help. It's helping me.
All right. And that's awesome. And that kind of gets into our New Year's resolution portion. But let's have Megan. What were your other ones?
Oh my gosh. Well,
pick two.
Okay. So another one that I really enjoyed was another one that Debbie also listened to called Isabel.
Were you copying?
No, she didn't
cheating?
put that in her top ones, but it's one we both listened to as an advanced listening copy.
I didn't choose it because she was choosing it, and so I didn't have to, and I knew it'd still get talked about.
Yeah. So another one is Isabella Nag and the Pot of Basil. They say Basil because it's a British. Yeah. So this was I listened to the audiobook, and it was narrated by the author, and
Oliver Darkshire.
Yes, Oliver Darkshire, and it was really great. It was very fun, but like...
Is he the one that did the bookstore book that I read?
Yes.
And I don't remember what that one was. That was another good one that we read in Seattle.
Yeah. It was just delightful. Like, there's talking animals, and it was just a lot of fun.
Isabella inadvertently brings a pot of basil to life, and it talks. And there's more to it than that, but that's all I'm going to say until you read the book.
So was she still like cooking with the basil? Like if it's a talking basil, you rip some off and like throw it in like for the pesto?
Yes.
Or?
She was actually trying to make their donkey be able to talk so she could reason with it because it was being very difficult like a donkey is. And she was trying to like talk to it and like reason with it, but she didn't.
She thought it didn't work.
Yeah, so she gave it to the donkey and then Dave dumped it into the basil plant.
So both the donkey and the plant.
So does Eddie Murphy read for the donkey in the?
No, the author reads everything. But it was
author read books, audiobooks. I highly recommend because
so like there's a person's review that says, "Why can't I live on a cursed mandrake farm and study my magical books together with my eldritch cat and my talking plant? Is it truly too much to ask for?" So that gives you an idea.
It also includes an evil villainous and
goblins. Yes.
Does it have recipes?
No.
Like either for basil or like donkey steaks?
There are recipes for potions and things that she does.
She reads.
It doesn't give it.
None of them have
we uninitiated would not be wise to be brewing up potions.
Yeah, well, it went wrong for her. So, but that was another really good one. But there were so many good ones. Ugh.
One more.
But okay, the next one. There are two that are like a tie for me.
Choose
for third.
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
Okay, so I'll talk about.
Split them in half and invent a new book based on half of each. These next two are also
fantasy books. One was a YA, the other one was not YA. But
so it'd be an NYA.
So I'll talk about the one that wasn't YA. It was called The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I'd never read her before, but she has some other fantasy and maybe even kind of romance books, fantasy romance. What I liked about this is like it is more fantasy than a romance. Like there's a little bit, but
you say romantasy, but you don't say fantans. Why?
But anyway,
there's sounds like some kind of exotic dancer.
It's a fantans.
But this is like I don't even know where to start. So your favorite character in this book is going to end up being a gargoyle. He's great. And there's going to be it's a duology. She does a lot of duologies. So there's going to be a book 2, and I'm excited for the part 2 of it. But it was a good like adventure story, has a bit of romance, and then of course a lovable gargoyle character that you can't help but just.
The title again?
The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig.
Is the night the evening or the person?
The night, like with armor. Night in armor.
Night with a K.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and the other thing we need to bring up is in November, that's about a month ago now, we had Emporia, which was, instead of NaNoWriMo, that has become defunct, we had Emporia Writers Month in the month of November. And of our entries, we had, so what we did is, since it was so late, so disorganized, and so poorly publicized, thank you, me.
We learn as we go.
We do, and we will do it again next year. We didn't have a lot of entries, but the entries we had were, like, there were none that I was like, oh, no.
So they're all worthwhile. Is
They were great entries. And for this year, I don't know, we don't have, like, a drum roll thing.
We have applause,
We
don't
do.
we?
So our winner, okay. Debbie, will you read the envelope? Our winner was...
No, I won't, because there's no envelope, but I don't know who it is.
Our winner for the query letter and summary that was judged by our local in-town presses was Athermeyer Academy by Nolan Young.
Applause.
We need applause.
Oh,
Here,
we don't
we'll
have
just
any
do it. Yay, Nolan.
Yay. So that book, you won't see it for a while. Hopefully no one will find an agent or seek publication for that. He's got a good start. So yay for Nolan, for Emporia for this year. So moving on to our books for consideration for 2026. Yes, we have already crossed the threshold to 2026. What books are you looking forward to, Debbie?
Oh, well, that's a good question. So this past year, one of the river books that I listened to was Where the Rivers Merge. And that was the book that I mentioned earlier on a previous podcast that I was like, oh, good, we're getting there. We're getting to the exciting conclusion. And then it stopped. And the person was like, thank you for listening. And that was when I unfortunately found out that it was a duology. So I saw that the second book of the duology is supposed to be coming out in 2026. So I really hope that it does, because I really want to hear the end of the story. So the beginning of the story is about a family who have an estate, and it's where rivers meet, but so there's like, what is it called when two rivers come together? Is it like an estuary? I don't even know. Do you know what I'm trying to say? There's a word. Anyway, but the family's name is also Rivers, and so it's like a multi-generational saga of this family, and I want to hear the end. So I really hope that book 2 does come out in 2026.
And some of you might have heard, George R.R. Martin still has made no announcement.
Or Patrick Rothfuss.
Megan, what about you? 2026 reads?
Well, as I said, The Night and the Moth is going to have the second part that comes out in 2026. I think it's September, so it's going to be a while. So I might have to re-listen to refresh my memory on the first book. And then there is a second one I just found out that Isabella Nag and the Pot of Basil. There's a book 2 that follows the villainess in the first book, her story. So I definitely would be interested in that one. I'm sure there's probably some that are going to come out that I'm going to be like, oh, I always find books that I'm like, oh, so my TBR is kind of endless. So I know there's probably going to be something that I'm going to be like, oh, I love this. I have heard that there's possibly another book coming out from Matt Haig that wrote The Midnight Library, and I loved that book.
Yeah.
So I'm going to probably read that one when it comes out.
And I'm pretty sure I think we're getting another DCC.
I hope so, yeah. Like, I'm ready. Anytime.
I have another one. So I have been reading the Torchlight series by Moira Buffini. I read book 1, which was Songlight, and book 2, which was Torchfire, and book 3, which is set to come out October 27th, 2026. So I'm already excited for October because I want to hear the conclusion of that one.
Well, and I'm going to draw us to a close because I'm not even going to think about 2026 because I can't get out of January. So first of all, January 3rd is J.R.R. Tolkien Day. Yay! And there is a book by Joseph LeConte called The War for Middle-earth that is about C.S. Lewis and Tolkien's experiences in World War I and how those things affected. I've already started it as an ALC. It is out of this world. And do check us out. In the store, we will have, I think it's 15% off of
Tolkien books.
And yeah, so far what I've heard of the book is outstanding, and it is a new release in January. And also coming up, I think it's the 16th, 17th, somewhere in there, is Winnie the Pooh Day, because it is A.A. Milne's birthday, and there is a new book out by Giles Brandreth, Somewhere a Boy and a Bear. And it also touches World War I significantly. A.A. Milne was actually a pacifist, but he went to World War I anyway. And
It scarred a generation for certain.
it was a complete mess, and it was idiotic, and it
didn't settle anything because World
massively
War II
destructive.
followed right on its heels.
And there's just a lot of excellent scholarship in the book. And A.A. Milne and his father, I think it was E.W. Milne, was close friends with Orson Welles, taught at the school. And Christopher Robin, Orson Welles introduced him to people at the club, and that's how he got into the literary set. A lot just about his background, his childhood, his closeness, the fact he loved one brother, hated another, and also kind of how
A.A. Milne did?
A.A. Milne did, yeah. And also how his relationship with Christopher Robin sort of fell apart.
On an aside, what were A.A.'s names? Why did he go by A.A.?
I think it's Alan Alexander.
And C.S. and
Clive
Lewis
Staples.
and J.R.R. Why did they all not like their names, or did they make them feel, what's with the initials, folks?
Yeah, it's just a
I don't
thing.
know.
J.K. Rowling.
Right.
P.D. James.
P.D. James, yes. And there's some J.D. Robb.
Yeah.
C.J. Boss.
Usually when women do it, it's because they want to be like, oh, maybe a
Anonymous.
man wrote this. Yeah.
So are
to
you
remain
saying that J.R.
anonymous?
Tolkien, C.S. Lewis
No,
are
I'm
all
saying,
actually women?
No, I'm saying when women do it, it was because they didn't want a woman's name on the book. They wanted just an initial. Well, because we've talked about that before.
Yeah. But I do wonder.
So,
This is D.L. Rundus saying, have a happy new year.
yeah.
What? Am I supposed to give my initials too?
So
New Year.
do check us out. Lots of events. There will be a Kiss a Shark Week in January, of course.
Will we have a shark for people to kiss?
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
Lizzie gave us a great idea.
Appreciate a
Okay.
Dragon Day, Sticker Day.
Appreciate a dragon day?
Like it's a real thing. And
That's
of course, we are going to
amazing.
celebrate it in the
I
store.
appreciate dragons every day.
So keep an eye on the website for, and also just as a heads up, we may be changing our hours a little bit as it is dark and cold, and nobody wants to be out at night anymore now that the
We might
holidays are
have
over.
winter
so
hours and
we
then
may slack
summer
back the hours a little bit, but do keep an eye on our promotions and things going on the website. And until next time.
We'll meet you in the middle.
Hey, I'm Megan from Middle Ground Books. Thanks for listening to Middle Ground Books After Hours with me, Debra, and Lance. If you're in Emporia, stop in and see us at 606 Commercial Street. Browse books and other fun stuff, sip some tea, and just enjoy the bookshop vibes. Middle Ground Books After Hours is produced and remotely engineered by Cosmic Atom Sound Studios, producing the vision and making it sound. Cosmic Atom Sound Studios. Let's come together and build something new. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, we'll meet you in the middle.
I mean, who else has their no one sings I feel
Seriously.
like laying through it. Like nobody sings that.
I really think that you should take up writing because you've got the perfect name. Love.
I can only write smutty romances.
Yeah, no, you could write a fan dance.
A fan dance.
Ha! Making fun of me.
I'm not making fun. It's just funny.
But I want to talk about my other books.